Yo, what is going on, guys? Today we're back talking more MLB The Show 18. It is coming here, and it is coming rather quickly. We're, about a month and a half away now from MLB The Show 18. And today we're doing ratings predictions for our top 8 second basemen. Now, before we get started, we got a couple honorable mentions. Ian Kinsler, unfortunately, was having a quite terrible season, just missed the list. And Whit Merrifield, how about this guy? 29 years old, rather late bloomer to the league, but at least he did make it, had a very good season as well. Maybe he can build on that this season. But coming in at number 8 is Dee Gordon. Dee had a very forgettable 2016, I think, which is the reason he fell so far down the list in the first place. Remember correctly, this guy was a 90 overall not too long ago in MLB, putting up similar numbers to what he did this season, which was a cool 308 average, 2 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 60 stolen bases. So hopefully this is the beginning of a high road for D as we smack him with an 85 overall. Coming in at number 7 is DJ LeMahieu. I swear I've been pushing this guy like every single video we make. Like, no lie, I'm pretty sure I upgraded him at least 15 times in ratings predictions upgrade videos this season, and he's still never got that upgrade. The guy's still an 83 overall. It's unbelievable. I don't know. I guess SDS is putting that little Coors Field tag on him for whatever reason, but he's a career 300 hitter, and you can argue he puts up that Dustin Pedroia type of stat line, and he had an 88 overall last season. Not to mention DJ brought home that gold glove again this year. We all do know defensive stats can make a big impact on a player's overall. I mean, come on, SDS. All I'm asking for is an 85 overall for DJ LeMahieu. I'd like to see him higher, but an 85, that's all I'm asking for. Let's make it happen. Please and thank you. Number 6, Jonathan Schoop. He ended the season with an 85. Guys like Schoop are the reason why SDS makes my head hurt, though. I was just talking about that gold glove winner. Another gold glover, not the same player, not DJ LeMahieu, finished the season with a 60 rating on his fielding. Meanwhile, Jonathan committed the second most errors among second basemen this season in the league, and he finished with an 80 rating on fielding. Besides that, though, the guy had a phenomenal season. 32 home runs, 105 RBIs, and a 293 average. But his overall in general, it was tough to determine when you consider, because of them stats, it screams 86, 87, but his defense screams 84, 85. So I think you see some offensive upgrades, but maybe some defensive downgrades, which will ultimately lead to him having about an 85 overall. Number 5, Robinson Cano. It appears age has finally caught up to this Hall of Fame worthy player, as he is now 35, and last year was his worst season statistically performance-wise since 2008. Some may even say his first season over there with the Mariners, though, was also not one of his greatest seasons, but the 23 home runs, 97 RBIs, and a 280 average this season. All that talk about bad seasons, I mean, at the end of the day, this guy still had a really good season. For any second baseman in the league, I'm sure they'd gladly take those numbers. MLB holds Robbie to a high standard, though, and that's the reason I think we see that little bit of a decline in his statistics. We see a little bit of decline in the overall. Not a big one. 88, we're going to drop him down to an 87 overall this season. Number 4, Dustin Pedroia. We brought him up earlier, was an 88 last year. Just another season at the park for Pedroia. Not a lot of home runs, not a lot of RBIs, but still batting for average at 293 and still excellent in the field. That can be the tricky thing with these second basemen. Fielding stats can really make or break the difference in these guys being an 88, 89 or an 85, 84. Pedroia went into MLB The Show 17 with an 88 overall, and I've seen zero reason to why that overall should be downgraded throughout the season based on last season's performance, based on how he's done previously. I think he sits right there at that 88 overall once again. Number 3 is Brian Dozier. I'm swinging big on Dozier. SDS is not a big fan of swinging big on Dozier for some reason. This was the guy SDS insisted giving a horrible fielding stat, though, for some reason, and power stats in the upper to lower 80s as well to end the season last year in MLB The Show 17, which is beyond insane when you consider he just won the gold glove. Not only that, but he had 76 home runs over the past 2 seasons, which is indeed best among second basemen in the league. I really think this guy is a diamond overall player, but I do want everyone to keep in mind how players' overalls are typically a little bit lower to start the season and with the show from one season to the next, and then as the season progresses, they'll upgrade them a little bit more and more and more. We see more diamonds come to the end of the season than we do the beginning. I think Dozier is one of them guys. We're going to give him an 89 overall, though, going into next season. Number 2, Daniel Murphy. He continues to blow my mind. I thought that 340 season was a bit of a fluke last season, but here we are a year later, and he's still batting 323, 23 homers, 93 RBIs. I will be downgrading his overall by 1 point, though, from what he ended in MLB The Show 17, but again, I think it isn't because of performance or anything like that, but more of a MLB The Show 17 to 18, just in general, ratings decline. He's a victim of that. I don't think it's got anything to do with his performance at all, and we're going to give him, like I said, a 90 overall. Number 1, Jose Altuve. Not a big surprise here. The real question is, what should his overall be? The guy is arguably the closest thing we have in baseball to Mike Trout. Trout does average a few more home runs a year, around 30. Altuve is closer to 25. You could argue that Trout's the better fielder, but second base is far from easy to play as well. Altuve has led the league in hits for the last 4 seasons with over 200 every single year. He's batted .340 in 3 of the last 4 seasons. .340! Ladies and gents, that is incredible in this day and age, considering we've been talking about this being the year of the pitcher in the past 4 or 5 years. And he had over 30 stolen bags in every year of his career, excluding his first year where he only played 50 games. Not quite his fault there. I don't want to start the Altuve over Trout campaign and rile people up, but another fun stat to throw in there. Both players have spent about 1,000 games in the league. Altuve does have a few more games played than Trout, but Altuve has struck out 462 times in 1,000 games played, while Mike Trout has 874 times, nearly double. And people be like, well, what's that stat? What's that got to do with anything? Everybody strikes out. That's when you think about how hard it is to hit a baseball and you don't strike out that often as well, like you're making contact every time. That's impressive. You got to realize that these guys do strike out a lot. You know why they strike out a lot? Because it's hard to hit the baseball. This guy's proven that he can do it at a very consistent rate, whether it's in play or not. That's the reason he's got that average. He's hitting the baseball all the time. But Jose Altuve, I think he definitely 110% deserves a 99 overall this year, and that is what we're going to give him. Otherwise, though, guys, that is my top 8 second basemen. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Some guys you think should have made the list, didn't make the list, where they should have been on the list. As always, though, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.